Hi everyone, Michael from Teams by Design. We've just recently launched our after-hour phone service. What that means for you is we can now answer your phone calls from 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and all day Saturday and Sunday. We can help you with inquiries such as property inquiry, leasing inquiry, maintenance support, and new business inquiries. So please make sure you head to teamsbydesign.com, leave your information, we'll arrange a Zoom and catch up and show you how we can help you through this.
Hi, it's Deniz Yusuf here, and I have got Michael Sanz, and we are Inspired Growth Training. Thank you for being part of the PM Growth Expert Show. Michael, how are things going? How are you?
Great, loving life. I'm loving, the perpetual state of lockdown the country's going through. I mean, who doesn't? It's timeless. But, I guess one thing that we're seeing more and more of is how property managers and real estate agents are adapting. What's happening in the country.
Yeah, certainly. I've seen a lot of posts lately on social media, Michael, where people are actually saying how their business is still going to be running. They're working from home. They can still do routine inspections, whether they're using Inspection Manager and their app process system, etc. It's really, really good to see that businesses are a lot more positive about it. It's interesting. This podcast will never date. Everyone's going to remember what the pandemic is, that we've gone through with the COVID. It's certainly interesting. But how good is it to see businesses adapting as well now?
It is. And I think bit by bit, we have seen people relax a little bit. Dennis, we've had a couple of recent experiences, bad experiences, dealing with real estate agents, dealing with COVID, not coming up to modern days, modern technology. Also, some not wanting to shake Dennis's hand.
I know, that was a bit of a shock to the system, and I didn't even go in for the hug. I mean, it was a pure just a shake of the hands in a state where COVID has not been an issue at all as well. I was very perplexed.
Yeah, that was interesting, but that's for a whole other conversation. I guess it's one of the things we've been talking about a lot recently with numerous clients. I guess, how did this evolve? How do we get into this? We've had a lot of conversations recently with real estate agents realizing they need to make some change, and that's for growth. It's also systems, procedures. They're wanting to know where they sit right now and what do they need to do to change certain things. With, secret shopping has been huge. What a great success secret shopping was. We've been able to help agencies all around the world identify where they sit in the marketplace.
Yeah.
But I guess now people want to kind of know, well, what am I missing internally? And that's where this whole blueprint came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's interesting. The blueprint.
The IGT Growth Blueprint.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to get some more information on that, IGTgrowthblueprint.com is where they can go to get some more information on that. Michael, how many times are we getting a phone call into the business, email or whatever, and people are asking about, I need growth, or what can we do for growth? What ideas have we got? We've got over 300 hours of online growth content in our website, right? There's so much there for membership. And it's easy just to say, look, it's a no-brainer to become a member and throw your stuff, and start watching. But it doesn't mean that their business is ready for growth. We know how to show them the leads and how to create and generate the leads, but really, and the Secret Shopper Files shows people where they're sitting in the marketplace, but it's not identifying what works you need to do within your own business and where you sit within your own company if you're prepared for the growth. I mean, sometimes I actually had a discussion with a lady in New Zealand today, and she said, I've got a BDM, I want to do some training, what have you got? But I've got to actually, we've got to strip it back, and we've got to say, well, tell me about your BDM. Are they ready for training? Are they ideal for the position? What systems you've got in place, and how much time can you commit to training? All of these, that's just basic questions. And we established that they're not actually ready.
And I think too, changing that narrative around, because we would get, and I mean, Darren Hunter would know more on this, but the amount of calls that we would get from business owners saying, how many properties should my property manager manage? What's the average salary I should be giving my property manager? And like, they're just looking at elements of their business that really probably not the right questions, right? How many properties can your property manager do? Well, that's going to be relevant to what are the systems and the processes and the workflows that you've got in that office.
Yeah.
How much should you be paying them? Well, it's also going to depend on what your fees are. It's also going to depend on how many properties you do have under management, how many non-income producing staff do you actually have there, and so on. So a lot of those questions can be resolved by actually having a look at a blueprint. So taking a step back, looking at it holistically.
Yeah, spot on. It's an easy way to explain what a blueprint is. If anyone's ever punched in a town or a coffee shop, an example for myself, or a hidden bar that Michael and Darren and I might be looking for, all you see is a red dot on a map, but you don't know where it is. So you have to actually zoom back. You have to take some steps back and then identify little areas outside of where it is. So then you go, oh, it's next to such and such, or there it is. The blueprint is, it's the same thing. Whether someone's ringing up asking for fee maximization training, we can't just say, yes, we can do it. We have to ask questions. We need to identify what you're currently charging, what your rivals are doing, and then identify and answer some questions and work out, right? That's how we can establish it. Growth is the same thing. Michael, virtual assistants is the same thing. You can't just say, okay, I need a virtual assistant. Then we actually have to ask questions. What are you currently doing in those areas, etc.? There's certain things. The growth blueprint is the same. We've got a whole pile of questions, over 100 questions that we ask that identify what your current office is doing, so we can get a very good scope. Like we're zooming back on that map looking for that coffee shop, we've got to do the same thing, because growth is absolutely imperative. But there's no use just throwing those growth things out there, Michael, as you know, if all the leads are going to fall out the backside, if they don't have systems in place. Letters, I mean, oh my goodness, Michael, sometimes how many people do we contact that they don't even have a thank you letter that they send an owner after they've carried out a presentation?
Well, you would probably say that's 99% of most people. But the other thing too is, I mean, understanding the business allows you to put all these things in place. I mean, we were able to, from a number of the blueprints that we help other companies with, we've been able to basically design courses to give them a grow course. Like a lot of that grow course helps people who have been going through the blueprint to really identify, like, what are the things they could be doing. I mean, it goes deeper than that, right? I mean, Grow is just a really well structured course we have that kind of gives actionable tasks that people can do right away. The blueprint is us kind of identifying, this is what you actually need. I mean, Dennis, one thing in this chat today, there's no way we can cover the whole blueprint, right? No. How many? It's like 150, 200 questions that we go through. There's no way.
No. We cover a lot of areas, from what letters you're doing, what you're marketing, what your social media. We've got to review it all. It takes us hours to go through it. Once all the questions are asked, we've got to look at any potential proposals they've got, whatever. We review everything. We want to know where the leads have come from. We need to know what's been successful as a program. What have they done? Even if they're doing a lot of the right things, they may not be getting the growth. So it's just a matter of us working out what tweaking or fine tuning. There's so many questions.
So given that we're not going to go over the whole thing, because it'll take us like a whole day to go through it all, let's pick a couple of things, 2 or 3 things. And I think maybe one of the things that we would touch on is what you just spoke about then, which is like, where are the leads coming from? Right? A lot of businesses don't actually know where leads are coming from. And I would actually challenge a majority of people out there, do you know right now where all your leads came from in the last 12 months? Right? I would challenge, I mean, there are some operators out there we know who do track everything, but a majority don't. So for everyone listening or watching, if this is being also turned into a video, where have all your leads been coming from? Now, we actually have in part of our strategy sessions, we have a checklist of most of the lead sources. We get you to write down where the last 12 months came from. And then we get you to write down where do you want the leads to come from the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Right? Because we want to give you a target. We want you to say, okay, well, this is what I'm aiming towards.
And that's the follow-up procedure from us asking the questions in the first place, right? So the blueprint is about us asking questions. Then they get a strategy with us and us going through it, which is imperative. And the leads, like you're saying, so they've identified Michael. This is where the leads came from. And then you've said, then we ask them, where do you want your leads to come from? So then that gives us a set, we can then identify and work out what strategies they've got to put in place so they can get the leads from those other areas.
Yeah. And I guess, like as I'm kind of going through this with you, it sounds like this is a whole sales push for the IGT Growth Blueprint. It's not, right. Like you can go and do a lot of this stuff on your own, right? You don't need our help to do this. The benefit of us helping you is we actually have a blueprint. We have structure. We have thousands of people we've been working with across the entire planet that can help you. But Dennis, for someone out there who would want to kind of look at doing this type of task on their own, where do they start?
Well, I guess the first thing that I challenge in that, Michael, to bring it back a little bit is, yes, they can go do it themselves, but how's their growth and performance going at the moment? If they want to continue to do it themselves, give it a crack, give it a go. And if they're happy with their current growth, they're happy with their current processes and procedures, then keep going. But if they do want to improve, even if they want to improve by one extra management a month, only one, that's an extra 12, which imagine the extra income 12 new managements brings to your business if we would only help with one, right?
Yeah.
Certainly would easily cover the cost of what the blueprint's going to be, just that one, plus all the out of it benefits that they'll get from it. The simplicity, go to igtgrowthblueprint.com and read and have a look and watch another video of what we've got on there and fill in the form, and we'll go through that process of questions for them, because not everyone's going to qualify to receive a blueprint, Michael.
Yeah, you're spot on there, because we want to make sure we're helping people that want the help. So one of the things, like we touched on, like our leads. Another thing that we touch on in the blueprint, which I think is really important, what gets sent out to your clients.
Yeah.
Like, what are the automated responses?
How to deal with that inquiry, right? What are you doing from that inquiry? Tell us what your process is. We want to know the 10 steps, the 12 steps, 4 steps. You know?
And I remember we did a blueprint with someone, and like they got it back to us, and they said, guys, I think it was about 200 questions at the time. They were only able to answer like maybe 20 or 30 of the questions on it. And they said, it's not because I don't understand it. I understand every single question you've asked me, but I've just acknowledged and identified as a business, we are so far behind where we should be.
And we're now licking our lips of the amount of work and help that we can give them, right? In putting in place all the things.
But even like if they would implement five strategies that we kind of work with them on, even less, I mean, the change to their business is going to be huge. But I remember when they came to us and they didn't have any of this information there, but we were going through simple things with them, like, okay, average days on market. How long does it take you to rent a property? And surprisingly, a lot of people don't know this stuff. And we harp on people having proof statements. And that's part of, the blueprint, making sure you've got your proof statements to get out there and show people evidence. But also us understanding your process, because your process is predictability, and predictability and trust is what's going to win you business. Hi, everyone. Michael from Teams by Design. We've just recently launched our after-hour phone service. What that means for you is we can now answer your phone calls from 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and all day Saturday and Sunday. We can help you with inquiries such as property inquiry, leasing inquiries, maintenance support, and new business inquiries. So please make sure you head to teamsbydesign.com, leave your information, we'll arrange a Zoom and catch up and show you how we can help you through this.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you hammer on the head there, on the nail there, Michael. You spoke about the proof statements. We are quizzing. We are getting down and dirty and asking them some of the tough questions that a lot of business owners don't even look at because they're scared to know what those stats are. We ask for those statistics and data on certain things across the board, like your average days on rent, what your arrears are, how many evictions that may have been put in place, little things like that, because they are very important proof statements that you should be proud of if you've got the right systems in place, that you can then potentially sell that to your next potential landlord, right?
Yeah.
And if they're bad, then we know, and this is the good thing about the blueprint, if they're not good, the stats aren't good, then we know what things that we've got to put in place within that business so that we can get them improved, so then we can work on the growth at a later date.
Now, there was a recent addition that we made to the blueprint because, we evolve it consistently. Like we are always evolving the blueprint, and we did make a huge change to it recently, but I'm not sure if we should really bring that up in this podcast. Maybe we should wait for the next one because, that's when Darren Hunter gets involved.
Yeah.
I think maybe let's just talk about something else now. Let's park that one for the next session.
Yeah, we could do that.
Because that needs a bit more time. But Dennis, those questions in there that we've added that have been helping out those companies actually dig down, and Darren getting involved. I mean, Darren's the master, right?
He's the person that I believe has mastered this globally. There are other people that are doing it, and they're doing it quite well. But the in-depth works that's involved with how Darren does this is phenomenal. Now, you spoke about evolving, right? This blueprint originated in 2013 when I was BDM coach on my own. Michael, you did this blueprint, but it was like 80 questions back then.
I think it was like 18 questions, actually.
Can I just say, you got it back to me that quick. I questioned if you'd done it or not, and I went through, and you did. You answered the questions on the PDF that I'd sent you. It was great. And it's not even a PDF anymore. It's an online form. That's how much it's evolved, which is absolutely great. The benefit
of being online is that if we were to change a question, update a question today, and someone did the blueprint today, they get the benefit of that added question right away.
Yeah, it's an add-on, which is really good, and which is good. So, we are up to date on the technology and getting this going. It's really exciting. The blueprint, basically, the blueprint of growth is us. If you're to build a building, you've got to have a blueprint. Then you've got to establish and work out what things you've got to put in place before you can build the building. We're basically stripping back everything, and we're identifying all of those basic things that businesses should be doing in running and working on the growth of their business. We are stripping it right back to the basics. And
so, I was going to say, because you're touching on all these really important things, but as scalable as this is, it's really important that those that we work with really have to kind of want to be committed to want to work on improving their business and actually finding out where they can make these improvements. Like we were saying, you can do all this on your own. It'd be a huge task for you to do it. We have the structure in place, the training in place. We have practical experience. Like we have that benefit there, so we can help guide you through it in simple steps. For people, I guess, what should we be letting people know, like what to look for to pre-qualify? Like what are things people should be doing if they're going to go to the IGT Growth Blueprint.com website? What are the important things they really need to know? Before doing business with us and us doing business with them, what are the important things?
Yeah, well, I suppose the important things is what gets asked in, that's the questions that we ask in the blueprint, Michael. They don't have to actually be hands-on prepared until they get the blueprint.
Like,
right?
What's the minimum amount of properties that they can have, right? Are we only offering this to people that are established and wanting to see where they're at, or what are we doing?
Michael, we could do this on a business that hasn't even started yet. So
Yep.
as long as they've got their, okay, so we won't be talking about some of the areas are going to be blank. They won't be able to answer because they don't have any property management at the moment. But they've really got to have, their letters in place. They've got to have the systems. They've already got to have the websites all ready to go. They might have 1 property, 2 properties, 10 properties, and that's fine. I've actually done the blueprint on a business with 6 properties, right? So it can be done as long as you've got certain things in place. So then we can identify. If someone wanted to have access to the blueprint, and then we, just so those people listening, we've got Michael's daughter Rosalia saying hello in the background. So, I've done this on 6, and if someone's got 0 properties, it's absolutely totally fine, because we're actually going to help them identify all of the things that they need as well, right? So so that's what's really important as well. So qualifications is really going to be seeing, we want to make sure that when we do go through the interview process with the person, if they're prepared to do the works, if they're prepared to answer all the questions.
Yeah.
Because we can't just say, here's all the questions. We've actually got to sit through and go through that with them as well, and work on the things that they've got to put in place. So it is a two-way street. This is us almost coming in as business partners with them and identifying things that they need help with.
Yeah. So it's quite exciting. I mean, we love that challenge.
Yeah. Certainly
Love
do.
that. And it wouldn't be COVID lockdown, would it, Dennis, without having my family walk in to a podcast recording? I mean, would it?
Not at all. Not at all. I think it's imperative. Normally when we do webinars and or online training events, we do have a disclosure at the beginning stating A, my bad spelling, and B, that we work from home. Pre-COVID or no COVID, we work from home and kids can walk in. Michael, it's been interesting watching Lucia come in twice, I think within a week period, with a tooth each time.
And you know what? For everyone listening to this and watching this, I would love to hear your craziest working from home COVID story. So reach out to us and let us know, because I would love to know. I need a smile on my face.
Yeah, what they could do, Michael, is they could just go to our Facebook group. That'd be awesome to hear some of the stories and journeys. Maybe we could, create a post in there. Just go to Inspired Growth Training Facebook page. Just simply, obviously, like and follow the page. And then you'll see a little button that says Join Visit Group. Simply answer the questions and, jump in there. And once admin allows you in, let the put in your craziest working from home story that you've had. I mean, I often think about that newsreader. I think it was ABC in England, and the little 2-year-old came in on that little they were on that table with the feet and they walk, disturbing the dad during a news. That guy's now a motivational speaker and traveling the world. Well, not at the moment, but yeah. So yeah, what are your crazy stories? And I suppose, Michael, if you had a blueprint in place, and you were prepared and identified where you are and you're about to do a podcast recording, you ought to have the right systems in place so the kids didn't come into the room.
I know. And you know what? Like, I was thinking, going off topic, that I actually bought a lock set handle that I'm going to put on that door later today.
I'm actually excited about that, because Michael's actually in my room when I stay at his place.
In the office.
That's cool. That's good to know. So blueprint, really important. For us to know and help people learn what growth strategies they need to put in place. In a nutshell, we need to know what you're currently doing, what systems you've got in place, what's worked, what hasn't worked, so that we can assist in steamrolling that growth for you. One of the things I often say, if your new business isn't on fire, give us a call. If your business isn't on fire, if you're not getting the leads, if certainly give us a call. on that, Michael, another thing that I hear people say is they say, if, my BDM, they get about an 80% strike rate or 70% strike rate, or they get most of them. I just need to generate more leads. It's not about generating more leads. It's about identifying the blockage of leads in your business and seeing where are they're siphoning out. I guarantee there's going to be leads coming in, they're not being identified. And that's what the blueprint does. It helps us identify where the works need to be put in place so we can plug the leaks, and then we can focus on converting more business or generating more leads.
Yeah, correct. A lot of companies are missing a lot of leads. I mean, like the realestate.com one is the easiest one that I can think of, where people aren't contacting those that are looking to buy an investment property.
Current clients.
Current clients.
Isn't it interesting, Michael, on current clients? Oh, yeah, I call my current clients each year. Okay, but what are you saying? How are you saying it, etc.? Well, these are questions that we ask, and then we work out. Then when we give them a script and they change it, it's like one of our clients in New Zealand. They were doing this, but then we identified they've got 200 managements with their current clients that they could potentially list. So. And they were a company that was actually doing the calls to their current clients, but they didn't know how to ask. And that's what we teach once we go through that blueprint. So, and they did do the blueprint. They were a company that we went through and did that works, which is very exciting as well. So it's all about identifying and those blockages, and then, putting a plug on it and focusing on that growth.
Yeah. So again, for those out there who are interested in looking at the IGT Growth Blueprint.com, go to that website, and there's more information there. But you can always ask us questions. I mean, we're so happy to help out, as everybody knows. Call us, put a message in the group, the IGT Inner Circle, put a comment in there. Always happy to help, and everyone else is also happy to share there too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of training that we've got on all of our other podcasts, the BDM Coach podcast show as well. Even the PM Growth Expert show. There's a lot of learning, a lot of training. People can go to our standard website, Inspired Growth Training Knowledge Library. But if you are serious for growth and you're ready to step it up, then, certainly go to IGTgrowthBlueprint.com, and so we can help you take your growth to the next level.
Perfect. Well, Dan, it's great chatting with you again about the blueprint. Definitely both excited about this. Look forward to the next podcast we're going to do in this, which has got that thing that we didn't mention in this one.
That's right. Keep an eye out, listen out for that next stage. And I think we will actually drag Darren into the next one. And
yeah, I think so.
Let's get him involved. Let's have a really good conversation on that as well.
Yeah, well, put it in his diary, because he follows everything to his diary.
Yeah, he's a time management machine. He's very good at that. So thanks, everyone, for being part of the PM Growth Expert Show. It's awesome having Michael on board talking about the blueprint that we've got. Again, go to IGTgrowthBlueprint.com for further information on that. Otherwise, contact us through our website, contact us via email, text message, however you like. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.